Welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to share with you within the contact section, managing smart lists, which is essentially segmenting your clients, your customers, all your contacts into groups based on interactions that they've done, how they came into your system. There's many different ways to create your own smart list. We usually create them based on how they got into the list most of the time. Did they subscribe to a checklist? Did they come in from a pay-per-click call? Did they come in from an estimate request? I want to know all these details so that when I put these into our spreadsheet to kind of analyze what's happening, it's just really good data to know. And it'll also, I can kind of even get more granular as to who won, who did we lose, who was a vendor, who was a bad lead. Based on different automations that we do, we add tags. So you can see on the right, we have tags. And again, just to reiterate, this is a fake account. All of these are fake emails, fake phone numbers, and just allows me to kind of have a bit of a playground on here. Now you can see we've got these at the top are different lists, different smart lists, depending on a filter to the right. And I'm going to show you first how to filter, which we click filter here. Now, let's just say I want to see anybody that came in from a call, right? And again, normally we have automations that if they came in from a paid ad phone call, we tag them PPC call. So let me see if I've got that in here. I'm going to look up a tag and I'm going to look for PPC. See, I don't have it. So I'm actually going to, let me do something here real quick. I'm actually going to, so I've got a total of 47. I'm going to come in here, and this is kind of nice too, adding PPC call tag. Let me go in and do it for one person, and then it'll be added. I don't know why it wants to do that. So I'm going to add this tag. Now I've got that tag in here. So I'm going to go back, and I'm going to go back here. I only want these 20. I'm going to add my own tag. There it is. I'm going to add this tag. This is a way of bulk. I don't need to check the progress. Usually it's pretty quick for such a small amount of people. Now I can come back into the filters. I'm going to hit tag. Oops. I'm going to look for that PPC call. I'm going to hit apply. Now, in this case, it's temporary. If I were to click out of here, my smart list that I just created will be gone. So I want to click on save as a smart list, and I'm going to call this PPC call. And I'm really showing this to you. We'll have most of these in place for you. I just wanted to show you how you can do it yourself. After you get in here, there might be some areas that you find interesting and you might want to create your own list. We've done this for apartments, right? We might have a whole list for apartment managers. We might have a whole list for realtors. We might have a whole list for apartment owners, right? Apartment managers, apartments owners, and we can have many different ways of creating these lists. You can see I've got another one called a lead quote request. All these people submitted a quote request. I have a follow-up. There might be some automation in there that these people we want to follow up based on some kind of criteria. And what is that criteria? I'm going to go click on more filters and I can see that a tag has been added follow-up. Again, that's probably part of an automation after somebody has reached out. Maybe it was a voicemail. If they left a voicemail, I can have an automation that says tag follow-up. And that way in here, you can kind of, okay, I need to follow up with all these people. And then you can actually one by one, as you go through, if I follow up with somebody, I can come back in here and I can remove that follow-up. And then I go back And he should be gone. Now, if he's not gone yet, go ahead and hit refresh. Sometimes you got to refresh it in order to see it. Okay. Now you can manage your smart lists here. So if you want to see these up front, you can see it reorganizes them. As we create different smart lists, it only shows 4 or 5 at the top. I don't know why we do that. I think we need to ask if we can kind of add more as as is responsive. But usually it's only like 5 at the top. And usually you'll hit hit more, and it'll show more of those smart lists. But if you need the top 4 at the front, this is where you reorganize that. Let's go back to all. Now, when I import, there's an option in here to import contacts. If you've gotten a list from another company, they've given you, let's just say, apartment mover lists, you can import those contacts and give them a tag, apartment owners. That there's 2 ways. You could do this, import them, and it'll title it based on the date that you imported it, or you could title it apartment movers, and maybe you did a whole bunch of them, and now you've got more segments of maybe a construction company or real estate, those big real estate groups versus just apartment managers, and maybe you want to segment even further. When you send out emails and you have an email funnel, you just want to talk to apartment owners. I just want to talk to them and talk to them about all the great things about apartment owning, and hey, we're your choice for moving companies. Here's why, right? We have a whole email list just to apartment owners. I wouldn't want to send that to my entire list. So that's why we want to use smart lists. And for PPC calls, this is from a tracking mechanism. I want to know how many PPC calls did we get in a month. And I'll show you something else. If I come in here to more filters, I can now add a create date. Every time somebody calls, it gets recorded as the date and time that person came through the system. I can now organize this. I usually pick a range, and I want to see everybody that was created in July. I'm hitting apply. Now, nobody's going to be in here because I imported these a long time ago. Now, if I hit save, I'll hit save for now. Now, when I come back to PPC, I don't have to add this again. All I need to do is edit the range, and let's just do this like 23. I don't know when I did this. Obviously the date's in there. So there's June. Let's go back to June. And now I can hit apply, and there's everybody again. I can hit save, and it'll go back a whole year, anybody that was created over the year. And now I click here, and I can see there's a total of 20 records. That's kind of how I take this data and I put this into our spreadsheet to track every month. How many phone calls did you get? How many email quotes did you get? How many people subscribed? And those are the top 3 that we kind of KPI that we manage. I just wanted to share with you those smart lists. You can create your own if you filter and then you save as a smart list. You can always update. See, I didn't save it. I don't want to save it right now. I'm going to hit don't save changes. It's just going to go back to the way it was before. And now I don't have the date in there. I recommend saving as much as you can. It's easier to delete than it is to go back and how did I get that filter? There's more on the filtering side. You can see there's all kinds of data in here. Now, if you're a moving company and you're coming in, we have a moving in address and moving out. The best way is if we did it by zip code. What's your moving in zip code? What's your moving out zip code? And that way we can have an entire database based on zip codes. If you want to know how many people in this zip code, we could have let's see if I can do that in here. Postal zip code. I don't know. Mine is 77479. Let's see if I'm in here. There we go. One person in this one zip code. But you can see how powerful it can get as we start building this out. And then you can hit the all, and there's one record. And so if you're creating a spreadsheet, we can now kind of match. Okay, we had 5 in this particular zip code. It would take a while. There might be some other ways to do this, but for now, if you just want to know how many in a zip code, this is a great way to do it. If I were now to save this, so I don't I don't want the follow-up. I'm going to save it as new, and I'm going to call this zip codes. And this is where I would do a zip code one, and every time I would just update the actual zip code that I'm looking for. You can certainly do it by so everything but. If it's empty, I want to know which ones came through. Most likely it would be anybody in a PPC phone call. We don't particularly capture that data. Now, unless you went back in and added the data yourself, PPC calls typically just have the phone number and how they came through. We really wouldn't have that data. If you have Smart Moving and some of these other tools, I do recommend giving us access so that we can export out and import in as much detail as possible. If you have that, just let us know. We might be able to kind of fill the gap between your operational CRM and your marketing CRM, the MovingUp app. So that's it. That's Smart Lists. Let me know if you have any questions. And until the next video, bye.